Hi Shubham Sharma. Hi Sandy Sonu. Good afternoon. शुभम आज तुम्हारा छुट्टी है क्या? ना, नहीं किया. Good afternoon, Gudiya. Half day आया. Oh, take care. अम्बो म तपाईँलाई कति दिनको बादमा देखेँ. मलाई लाग्यो तपाईँ जान्नुभयो भनेर. कति मजा आउँथ्यो होला तपाईँलाई है इन्टर्नसिपमा. हजुर लाग्दै थियो त्यस्तै. हाय, व्हाट आर यू गोइंग टू स्टडी? मैं तो हमेशा बायो ही पढ़ती हूँ ना जयंतिका. हाय राशि. म चेक पनि गर्थेँ तपाईँले नि यो गर्नुहुन्छ होला भनेर, भ्लग बनाइकन हाल्नुहुन्छ होला भनेर. मेरो हजुर आउनु आँट्यो. राशि तनवार. हाय निलेश. हजुर आउनु आँट्यो एक्जाम. तपाईँको हो कि मेरो भनेको? हाम्रो त आउनु आँट्यो हजुर 4 मेमा. लाइक 8 डेज जति मात्रै छ अप्रक्स निकाल्यो भने. हाय अनन्या. हाँ राशि सब कुछ ठीक है. It's not Ananya, it's Anya, is it? It is Anya. Hi Avni. I have to revise this chapter, Human Health and Disease. I haven't completed it last night. Focus on the immunity part, okay? It's important. Okay, Anya. I don't know. If I got time, I'll revise it on the last days. I haven't completed much from physics. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9, like 10 chapters or something like that, approximately 10 to 12 chapters. Well, I'm preparing for the same. Good luck, Anya, you'll scold me again. Good afternoon, Shubham. And what about chemistry? Chemistry का तो मैंने पता नहीं, ऐसे ही तुक्का मार के आ जाऊंगी. हाय बाबा, गुड मॉर्निंग, गुड आफ्टरनून. गुड मॉर्निंग तो नहीं हुआ, मेरा तो अभी अभी हुआ है. हाय अभिषेक. Did you give any full syllabus mock test? Yep, I did. You know how much I scored in my first mock test? I got 165, then I got 266, then again 206, and finally 234 or something like that. I don't remember, I have to check my diary. Okay, let's start, okay? Prashant. Good afternoon, Prashant. Yeah, what's there to shock, Sasuke? Haven't I mentioned it before? I keep on saying I'm scoring less. Shall we start, Bhava and Shubham? वैसे आज वाईफाई नहीं है, मैं डेटा से कनेक्टेड हूँ, मोबाइल डेटा से. You know what, किसी ने ना यहाँ पर ना अपना ना वाईफाई का नाम चेंज करके ना ये लग दिया है, थुक्का भिखारी. दैट मीन्स कि ही इज स्पीडिंग एंड सेइंग बेगर. भिखारी को भिखारी ही बोलते हैं ना हिंदी में भी. कौन होगा ये थुक्का भिखारी? दैट्स सो मीन. Yeah, exactly, it's funny. Today's what chapter are you going to read? I'm going to complete this chapter, Human Health and Disease. I know, right, Sasuke? Sasuke, ये तो मेरे साथ ही हो रहा है ना, तो I can understand. Anyways, let's start, okay? Let's waste time. Are you a dropper? No, I'm a pipette. Okay, good luck, everyone. I was waiting for someone to take something, but he left, I guess. ये तो बुरा हुआ मेरे साथ. Did you complete your class? Did you complete you 10th class? Did you complete your 10th class? Nope. I'm still in class 8. Yes, start without it's wasting much time. Okay, Avni. Good luck, Baba. Very very good. Thank you, प्रशांत. चलो चलो पढ़ाई करते हैं, बहुत हो गया. शुभम एंड भवा, जो भी गंदा लिखेगा उसको टाइम आउट दे देना. यू सो ऑनेस्ट. आई एम. लेट्स स्टार्ट. मैं खुद के लिए कमेंट्स हाइड कर रही हूँ. ओके, कमेंट्स चैट्स. गुड लक. Humoral immunity response, antibodies found in blood. Okay, cell mediated immunity, CMI. Graft rejection को लगी responsible हुन्छ T lymphocyte. Okay, T lymphocyte associated. Okay, active and passive immunity. When a host is exposed to antigens, which may be in the form of living or dead microbes or other proteins, antibodies are produced in the host body. When host is exposed to antigens, which may be in the form of living or dead microbes or other proteins, antibodies are produced in the host body. This type of immunity is called active immunity. Active immunity is slow and takes time to give its full effective response. Injecting the microbes deliberately during immunization or infectious organism gaining access into body during natural infection induces active immunity. When ready-made antibodies are directly given to protect the body against foreign agents, it is called passive immunity. Do you know why mother's milk is considered very essential for the newborn infants? The yellowish fluid colostrum secreted by mother during the initial days of lactation has abundant antibodies IgA to protect the infant. The fetus also receives some antibodies from the mother through the placenta during pregnancy. These are some examples of passive immunity. When a host is exposed to antigens, which may be in the form of living or dead microbes or other protein, when a host is exposed to antigens, which may be in the form of living or dead microbes or other proteins, antibodies are produced in the host body. This type of immune response. Injecting the microbe deliberately during immunization or infectious organisms gain access into body during natural infection induce active immunity. When ready-made antibodies are directly given to protect the body against foreign agents, it is called passive immunity. Colostrum. Colostrum is natural passive immunity. Okay. Colostrum is natural passive immunity. Passive immunity, when ready-made antibodies are directly given to protect the body against foreign agent. When ready-made antibodies are directly given to protect the body against foreign agents. Ready-made antibodies are directly given to protect the bodies. Ready-made antibodies directly given to protect the bodies against foreign antigens. Now, foreign agents. It is called passive immunity. The yellowish fluid colostrum secreted by mother during the initial days of lactation has abundant antibodies, IgE, to protect the infant. Yellowish fluid colostrum, natural passive immunity. Colostrum is natural passive immunity. By mother during the initial days of lactation has abundant antibodies, IgA, to protect the infant. Natural antibody, natural passive immunity. The fetus also receives some antibodies from the mother through the placenta during pregnancy. Fetus also receive antibodies from mother's placenta. Fetus receives antibodies from mother's placenta. Fetus also receives some antibodies from their mother through the placenta during pregnancy. The fetus also receives some antibodies from their mother through the placenta during pregnancy. The fetus also receives some antibodies from their mother through the placenta during pregnancy. These are some example of passive immunity. Two example of natural passive immunity. First one, the human fetus receiving colostrum through milk is an example of natural passive immunity. Other than this fetus also receives antibodies from mother's placenta. This is another example of natural passive immunity. Yellowish fluid colostrum secreted by mother's initial days of lactation. Okay. We have two types of immunity: innate immunity and acquired immunity. Innate immunity is non-specific. Okay. They don't have memory, right? Non-specific type of defense. They are present at the time of birth. Innate immunity is non-specific, present at the time of birth. There are four types of innate immunity, that is PP: physiological barrier, physical barrier, cellular barrier, and cytokinin barrier. Physical barrier, skin and mucus. Then physiological barrier, saliva, tears, and stomach acid. Third one is cellular barrier, WBC, leukocytes. There is a particular type of leukocytes, PMNL, polymorphonuclear leukocytes. And then monocytes, natural killer, a type of lymphocytes or lymphocytes. Okay. These are the WBCs and other cells that are present in blood, okay, along with macrophages in tissues, can phagocyte and destroy microbes, okay. Cytokinin barrier, infected cells infected by virus release or secrete or produce or synthesize a type of protein, that is interferon. It helps to protect the uninfected cells. Interferon's antiviral protein. We have another innate immunity. That's it. Present at the time of birth. We have acquired immunity. Okay, this is acquired during the lifetime. Acquired immunity is pathogen specific and they have memory. They have two kind of response, that is primary response and secondary or anamnestic response. Pathogen specific, characterized by memory, primary response which is of low intensity, and subsequently encountered with the same pathogen elicits a high intensified secondary or anamnestic response. This is ascribed to the fact that our body appears to have memory of the first encounter. Antibodies has two chains of light light chains and 2 heavy chains. 2 shorter light chains and 2 heavier longer chains. 2 small light chains and 2 longer called heavy chains. Heavy chains, okay. Ya Allah, help me. The primary and secondary immune response are carried with the help of 2 types of lymphocytes, that is B lymphocytes and T lymphocytes. B lymphocytes produces helps in B lymphocytes produces antibodies in blood. It destroys the phagocytes, the blood-borne disease or pathogen. Whereas T lymphocyte is T lymphocytes helps in antibodies production but not produce antibodies directly. T lymphocyte is related, I think, cell mediated immunity, CMI. Okay, CMI is responsible for graft rejection. The other one is humoral immunity, humoral immune response. Okay, HIS, his HIR, humoral immune response. IgA is in milk. IgM is the largest antibody. IgE related to or associated with allergies, and finally we have EMA, and one more is there, G. IgG is the smallest antibody but most abundant. Okay, it is most abundant. IgG is abundant, most abundant but smallest. स्मॉलेस्ट याद करने की ज़रूरत नहीं है, abundant वाला याद करना पड़ेगा. IgG abundant, most abundant. Antigens binding site, and okay, antigen binding site. Light chain, dark chains, disulfide linkage. Antigen binding site. Both light and heavy chains of antibodies have antigen binding site. Light chain and heavy chains are connected with disulfide linkage. Okay. Active immunity and passive immunity, right? Active immunity. When a host is exposed to antigen, which may be in the form of living or dead microbes or other proteins, antibodies are produced in the host body. This type of immunity is called active immunity. Active immunity is slow and takes time. Okay. Gaining access into body during natural infection induces active immunity. Injecting the microbes deliberately during immunization or infectious organism gaining access into body during natural infection induce active immunity. Memory return, active immunity. Passive immunity, no memory. Passive immunity does not have any memory. Active immunity has memory, but active immunity is slow and takes time. Active immunity is slow and it takes time. Okay. Active and passive immunity. When host is exposed to antigen, which may be in the form of living or dead microbes or other proteins, antibodies are produced in the body. This type of immunity is called active immunity. Active immunity is slow and takes time to give its full effective response. Okay. वाईफाई क्यों नहीं आ रहा है? मैं बार बार चेक कर रही हूँ, फिर भी नहीं आ रहा है। ये तो बुरी बात है। सुमनी के पास तो है, लाइट भी है, फिर क्यों नहीं है? मैं सुमनी वाली वाईफाई से ही कनेक्ट हो जाती हूँ। वेट, बट वो काफ़ी स्लो चलता है ना। Active immunity, memory retain. Passive immunity does not retain memory. When ready-made antibodies are directly given to protect the body against foreign antigens, it is called passive immunity. When ready-made antibodies are directly given to protect the body against foreign antigens, it is called passive immunity. The yellowish fluid colostrum secreted by mother during the initial days of lactation has abundant antibodies IgE to protect the infant. The fetus also receives some antibodies from their mother through the placenta during pregnancy. These are some examples of passive immunity. Active immunity is slow and takes time to give its full effective response. When a host is exposed to antigens, which may be in the form of living or dead microbes or other proteins, antibodies are produced in the form of produced in the host body. This type of immunity is called active immunity. Active immunity is slow and takes time. When the antigen microbes, dead or living, or other proteins are introduced in the or exposed into the host body, antibodies are produced in the host body. This type of immunity is called active immunity. Passive immunity on the ready-made antibody. Bodily produced body antibody. Active, that's why they have memory. Passive na ready-made antibodies are injected. Second defense is formed by antibodies. Antitoxin refers to preparation containing antibodies. Preparation containing antibodies to the toxin, antitoxin. Preparation containing antibodies to the toxin. Cyclosporin A, Trichoderma polysporum fungi. Active immunity development is related to memory cell. Vaccination and immunization. The principle of immunization or vaccination is based on the property of memory of the immune system. The principle of immunization or vaccination is based on the property of memory of the immune system. Vaccination, memory, immunization. Okay, placenta, IgG, the most abundant antibody. Excuse me. Kinda tired. It's okay. Vaccination and immunization. The principle of immunization or vaccination is based on the property of memory. Vaccination and immunization is based on the property of memory or of the immune system. Vaccination or immunization. Excuse me. The principle of immunization or vaccination is based on the property of memory of the immune system. Vaccination, immunization. In vaccination, a preparation of antigenic protein of pathogen or inactivated weakened pathogen vaccine are introduced into the body. In vaccination, preparation of antigen protein. In vaccination, preparation of antigen protein. Vaccination or preparation of antigen protein or pathogen or inactivated weakened pathogen. Preparation of antigenic protein of pathogen, or inactivated weakened pathogen vaccines are introduced into the body. Principle of immunization or vaccination is based on the property of memory of the immune system. Okay, active immunity has memories. Even acquired immunity has memory, right? My innate immunity does not have memory, along with passive immunity. Passive immunity and innate. Passive immunity and innate immunity do not have memory, whereas acquired immunity as well as vaccination or immunization retains memory. Okay. In vaccination, preparation of antigenic protein, preparation of antigenic protein of pathogen or inactivated weakened pathogens vaccines are introduced into the body. The antibodies produced in the body against these antigens would neutralize the pathogenic agents. The antibodies produced in the body against these antigens would neutralize the pathogenic agents. The antibodies produced in the body against these antigens would neutralize the pathogenic agents. In vaccination preparation, the principle of immunization in vaccination is based on the principle of memory or the immune system. In vaccination preparation of antigenic proteins of pathogen or inactivated weakened pathogen vaccines are introduced into the body. The antibodies produced in the body against these antigens would neutralize the pathogenic agents during actual infection. The vaccines also generate memory, B and T cells. Okay, B and T cells generate memory. Okay, the vaccines also generate memory, B and T cells that it is the B and T cells that recognize the pathogen quickly and on subsequent exposure and overwhelm the invaders with a massive production of antibodies, B and T cells. Memory. Vaccines also generate memory, B and T cells. B and T cell recognize the pathogen, okay? B and T cells recognize the pathogen quickly on subsequent exposure and overwhelm the invaders with massive production of the antibodies. If a person is infected with some deadly microbes to which quick immune response is required, as in tetanus, okay, tetanus इतना खतरनाक है क्या? मुझे नहीं पता था. If a person is infected with some deadly microbes to which quick immune response is required, as in tetanus, Clostridium tetani, anti-tetany serum. We need to directly inject the performed antibodies or antitoxin. Artificial passive immunity. Performed, okay. Clostridium tetani. Tetanus is caused by Clostridium tetani. Anti-tetany serum is injected in tetanus patient. A preparation containing antibodies to the toxin. Antitoxin, a preparation containing antibodies to the toxin. A preparation containing antibodies to the toxin. Even in case of snake bites, the injection which is given to the patient contain performed antibodies against the snake venom. This type of immunization is called passive immunization. Passive immunization. Recombinant DNA technology has allowed the production of antigenic polypeptide of pathogen in bacteria or yeast. Recombinant DNA (rDNA) technology has allowed the production of antigenic polypeptides of pathogen in bacteria or yeast. The vaccines produced using this approach allow large-scale production and hence greater availability for immunization. Example: hepatitis B vaccine produced from yeast. Hepatitis B vaccine is produced from yeast, okay? But produce yeast. Hepatitis B vaccine yeast पर produce करेगा. I think Wi-Fi आज नहीं आएगा. Vaccination and immunization. The principle of immunization or vaccination is based on the property of memory or the immune system. In vaccination or preparation of antigenic proteins of pathogen or inactivated weakened pathogens, vaccine are introduced into the body. The antibodies produced in the body against these antigens would neutralize the pathogenic agents. During actual infection, the vaccines also generate memory B and T cells. Vaccination memory. Artificial active immunity can be acquired from a vaccination. Artificial active immunity can be acquired from a vaccination. Artificial active immunity can be acquired from vaccination. Clostridium tetani, anti-tetany serum. Second generation vaccine. Recombinant DNA technology has allowed the production of antigenic polypeptide of pathogen in bacteria or yeast. The production of antigenic polypeptide of pathogen in bacteria or yeast. Vaccines produced using this approach allow large-scale production and hence greater availability for immunization. Example: hepatitis B vaccine produced from yeast. Hepatitis B vaccine produced from yeast. एक्टिभ र प्यासिभ इम्युनिटी हुन्छ. एक्टिभमा मेमोरी हुन्छ, प्यासिभमा मेमोरी हुँदैन. एक्टिभको एक्जाम्पल अहिले एकछिनमा हुन्छ. प्यासिभको फर्स्ट गरौँ. प्यासिभको दुईवटा दिएको छ एनसिआरटीमा एक्जाम्पल. प्यासिभ इम्युनिटीमा फर्स्ट भनेको छ कोलोस्ट्रम. मदरको मिल्कमा जुन चाहिँ आइजिए हुन्छ त्यसले बेबीलाई प्रोटेक्ट गर्छ. कोलोस्ट्रम हो, क्लोस्ट्रिडियम होइन. कोलोस्ट्रम येलोइस फ्लुइड, ओके. प्यासिभ इम्युनिटी हो, मेमोरी हुँदैन। एक्टिभ इम्युनिटीको मेमोरी हुन्छ जब कुनै पनि ब्याक्टेरिया या फिर कुनै पनि माइक्रोब्स लिभिङ होस् या डेड होस् या फिर कुनै पनि एन्टिजेन होस्टको बडीमा आयो भने, एक्सपोज भयो भने के गर्छ, बडीले यसको अगेन्स्टमा एन्टिबडिज प्रड्युस गर्छ। यसको मेमोरी हुन्छ। ओके, एक्टिभ इम्युनिटी हो के हुन्छ, मेमोरी हुन्छ, तर यो के हुन्छ, स्लो हुन्छ, इट टेक्स टाइम। प्यासिभ इम्युनिटी अचानक एकैछिनमा मिल्छ, त्यसै कारण मेमोरी पनि हुँदैन। बाहिरबाट बनाएको, अलरेडी बनाएको रेडिमेड एन्टिबडी चाहिँ बडीमा इन्जेक्ट गरिदिन्छ। रेडिमेड त यो हो, भ्याक्सिन हो। When ready-made passive immunity में पनि रेडीमेडै छ। When ready-made antibodies are directly given to protect the body against foreign antigens. Okay, कोलेस्ट्रमलाई छोडेर अर्को एक्जाम्पल के छ, प्लासेन्टाको छ। मदरको प्लासेन्टाबाट फिटसले एन्टिबडी रिसिभ गर्छ, antibody from mother through the placenta during pregnancy. There are some example of passive. These are some example of passive immunity. Passive immunity, natural passive immunity को example हो यो। Okay. Okay, vaccination या फिर immunization के को बेसिस में बनाएको छ भन्दाखेरि प्रपर्टी अफ मेमोरी हो। एकपल्ट भ्याक्सिनेसन गरेको छ भने के हुन्छ, मेमोरी रिटेन हुन्छ। जब प्याथोजेनले एक्चुअली हमला गर्छ त्यतिखेर के गर्छ, बडीले एकदमै भक्कु धेरै अमाउन्टमा के गर्छ, एन्टिबडी प्रड्युस गर्न सक्छ। The principle of immunization or vaccination is based on the property of memory of the immune system. In vaccination or preparation of antigen proteins, antigenic protein of pathogen or inactivated weakened pathogen are introduced into the body. Preparation of antigenic protein of pathogen or inactivated weakened, या तो pathogenलाई नै इन्जेक्ट गरिदिन्छ या फिर pathogenको प्रोटिनलाई इन्जेक्ट गर्छ। Antigenic protein of pathogen. The principle of immunization or vaccination is based on the property of memory of the immune system. In vaccination, a preparation of antigenic protein of pathogen or inactivated weakened pathogen, vaccines are introduced into the body. The antibodies produced in the body against these antigens would neutralize the pathogenic in vaccination or preparation of antigenic protein of pathogen or inactivated weakened pathogen. Antigenic protein or pathogen or inactivated weakened pathogen. भ्याक्सिनले मेमोरी जेनेरेट गर्छ। यसमा दुईटा टाइपको सेल हुन्छ, बी सेल्स र टी सेल्स है। बी एन्ड टी सेल्स रिकग्नाइज द पैथोजन क्विकली on subsequent exposure and overwhelm the invaders with massive production of antibodies. The vaccines also generate memory B and T cells that recognize the pathogen quickly on subsequent exposure and overruns the invaders with a massive production of antibodies. If a person is infected with some deadly microbes to which quick immune response is required, as in tetanus, Clostridium tetani, anti-tetani serum. Okay, Clostridium tetani ले tetanus कज गर्छ एन्टी टिटानी सिरम ओके deadly microbes with some deadly microbes to which quick immune response is required in tetanus. We need to directly inject the performed antibodies or antitoxins. Antitoxins भनेको a preparatory containing antibodies to the toxin. A preparation containing antibodies to the toxin, antitoxins. Even in case of snake bites, the injection which is given to the patient contained performed antibodies against the snake venom. This type of immunization is called passive immunization. Recombinant DNA technology has allowed the production of antigenic polypeptides. Production of antigenic polypeptides of pathogen bacteria or yeast. Production of antigenic polypeptide of pathogen in bacteria or yeast. Antigenic polypeptide. Vaccines produced using this approach allow large-scale production. Antigenic polypeptide. Greater availability for immunization. Hepatitis B vaccine prepared using yeast. Hepatitis B vaccine produced from yeast. Okay. Clostridium tetani, tetanus, anti-tetany serum. ATS, anti-tetany serum. Second generation vaccine. This is like a second generation vaccine. एक्टिभ इम्युनिटी र पासिभ इम्युनिटी दुईटा छ एक्टिभ इम्युनिटीको मेमोरी हुन्छ पासिभ इम्युनिटीको मेमोरी हुँदैन पासिभ इम्युनिटीको दुईटा इक्जाम्पल छ एउटा हो कोलोस्ट्रम जो चाहिँ मदरको मिल्कबाट निस्किन्छ इनिशियल डेज अफ ल्याक्टेसनमा फिटसलाई प्रोटेक्ट गर्नुको लागि या फिर बेबीलाई प्रोटेक्ट गर्नुको लागि देन अर्को छ फिटसले मदरको प्लासेन्टाबाट एन्टिबडिज सम टाइप अफ एन्टिबडिज पाइबस्छ यो दुईटा के हो नेचुरल पासिभ इम्युनिटी हो नेचुरल पासिभ इम्युनिटी करेक्ट एक्टिभ इम्युनिटीमा के हुन्छ कुनै पनि माइक्रोब्स या फिर प्रिपेयर्ड एन्टिजेन माइक्रोब्स डेड होस्ट या लिभिङ होस्ट अरू कुनै पनि प्रोटिन होस्टको बडीमा एक्सपोज भयो भने के हुन्छ antibodies are produced in the host body. This type of immunity is called active immunity. Active immunity is slow and takes time and give its full effective response. To give its full effective response. Okay. अगर होस्टको बडीमा एक्सपोज भयो भने होस्टले त्यसको अगेन्स्ट एन्टिबडिज प्रिपेयर गर्न थाल्छ तर यो स्लो हुन्छ टाइम लाग्छ यो प्रोसेसमा के एक्टिभ इम्युनिटीमा मेमोरी हुन्छ प्यासिभ इम्युनिटीमा मेमोरी हुँदैन मेमोरी रिटेन गर्न सक्छ एक्टिभ इम्युनिटीले भ्याक्सिनेसन र इम्युनाइजेसनमा के हुन्छ भन्दाखेरि चाहिँ ल्याबमा प्रिपेयर गर्छ ओके वीकेन्ड प्याथोजेनलाई के गर्छ भन त होस्टको बडीमा लगाइदिन्छ होस्टको बडीले त्यसलाई त्यो प्याथोजेनलाई मार्नुको लागि के गर्छ एन्टिबडिज प्रोड्युस गर्छ यो पनि के हुन्छ एक्टिभ हुन्छ ओके मेमोरी हुन्छ आई मिन बेस्ड अन द प्रपर्टी अफ मेमोरी द भ्याक्सिन जेनेरेट मेमोरी के को थ्रुबाट भ्याक्सिनले मेमोरी जेनेरेट गर्छ भन्दाखेरि चाहिँ भ्याक्सिन अल्सो जेनेरेट मेमोरिज दुईटा सेल्स हुन्छ बी सेल र टी सेलको कारणले गर्दाखेरि प्याथोजेनलाई रिकग्नाइज गर्न सक्छ नेक्स्ट एक्सपोजरमा टिटेनसको लागि जुन चाहिँ सिरम हुन्छ त्यसलाई के भन्छ एन्टी टिटेनस सिरम टिटेनसको लागि भ्याक्सिन बनिसकेको छ टिटेनस डेडली माइक्रोब्सको कारणले गर्दाखेरि हुन्छ यसमा भ्याक्सिनेसनको जरुरत पर्छ इभन स्नेकले बाइट गर्यो भने पनि के गर्छ अलरेडी प्रिपेयर गरेको भ्याक्सिन लगाइदिनुपर्छ बडीमा स्नेक बाइटको लागि पनि भ्याक्सिन छ टिटेनसको लागि पनि भ्याक्सिन छ एन्टिटोक्सिन्स भनेको चाहिँ टोक्सिनको अगेन्स्ट बनिने एन्टिबडी यिनीहरूलाई के भन्छ यो दुईटा के एक्जाम्पल हो प्यासिभ इम्युनाइजेसनको एक्जाम्पल हो किनकि एन्टिजनको एक्सपोजर हुँदाखेरि के गरिन्छ, डिरेक्ट इन्जेक्सन दिँदैछ यसको अगेन्स्टमा प्रिपेयर गरेको एन्टिबडी चाहिँ। डिएनए रिकम्बिनेन्ट टेक्नोलोजीले हेल्प गरेको छ सेकेन्ड जेनेरेसन भ्याक्सिन के गर्नुमा हेल्प गरेको छ, एन्टिजेनिक पलिपेप्टाइड बनाउनुमा, प्रोडक्सन अफ एन्टिजेनिक पलिपेप्टाइड। केमा बनाउँछ उनीहरूले, ब्याक्टेरिया युज गर्छ या त यिस्ट युज गर्छ। हेपाटाइटिस बी को लागि यिस्ट युज गरेको छ। ओके, हेपाटाइटिस बी को भ्याक्सिनको लागि के युज गरेको छ, यिस्ट। आर्टिफिशियल एक्टिभ इम्युनिटी। हैन फोनको टोर केही मारिने एक दिन मेरा फोन। यार वाईफाई कब आएगा। आर्टिफिशियल एक्टिव इम्यूनिटी छोड़ो, नहीं आएगा शायद आज। Artificial active immunity can be acquired from vaccination of antitoxin refers to the replication containing antibody to the toxin. Second line defense is performed by antibodies. Allergies, autoimmunity, the immune system of the body. It's allergies. When you have gone to a new place and suddenly you started sneezing, wheezing for no explained reason, and when you went away, your symptoms disappeared. Did this happen to you? Some of us are sensitive to some particles in the environment. The above mentioned reaction could be because of allergy to pollen, mites, etc., which are different in different pathogens. Which are different in different places. Okay, mention could be because of allergy to pollen, mites, etc. Pollen, mites. The exaggerated response to the immune system to certain antigen present in the environment is called allergy. The exaggerated response to the immune system to certain antigens present in the environment is called allergy. The substances to which such an immune response is produced are called allergens. The exaggerated response of the immune system of certain antigens present in the environment is called allergy. Make something large worse better. Exaggerated response of the immune system to certain antigens present in the environment is called allergy. The substances to which such an immune response is produced are called allergens. The antibodies produced to this are IgE type. Antibodies produced to this are of IgE type. Excuse me. Common examples of allergens are mites in dust, pollens, animal dander, pollens, mites in dust, etc. Symptoms of allergic reaction includes sneezing, watery eyes, runny nose, and difficulty in breathing. Allergy is due to release of chemicals like histamine and serotonin. Common example of allergens are mites in dust, pollens, animal dander, etc. Symptoms of allergic reaction include sneezing, watery eyes, runny nose, and difficulty in breathing. Bronchoconstriction, vasodilation, histamine को कारणले गर्दाखेरि हुन्छ. IgE mast cell activate गरिदिन्छ, release histamine. Bronchoconstriction, vasodilation. Allergy is due to the release of chemicals like histamine and serotonin from the mast cell. IgE ले mast cell में activate करता है, release histamine. Okay, allergy is due to the release of chemicals like histamine and serotonin. Histamine and serotonin. Okay. Symptoms of allergic reactions include sneezing, watery eyes, runny nose, and difficulty in breathing. Allergy is due to release of chemicals like histamine and serotonin from the mast cell. Due to release of chemicals like histamine, serotonin from mast cell. Histamine, serotonin and just histamine and serotonin from mast cell. Mast cell के गर्छ histamine र serotonin release गर्छ. HMS. Okay. Histamine, serotonin and mast cell. For determining the cause of allergy, the patient is exposed to or injected with very small dose of possible allergens and the reactions studied. The use of drugs like antihistamine, adrenaline, and steroids quickly reduce the symptoms of allergy. For determining the cause of allergy, the patient is injected or exposed to or injected with a very small dose of possible allergens and the reaction studied. The use of drugs like antihistamine, adrenaline, and steroids quickly reduce the symptoms of allergy. Reduce the symptoms of allergy. Antihistamine, steroids र antihistamine, steroids र के छ एउटा histamine and serotonin दुईटा एन्टिजन कज गर्छ histamine र serotoninले. Adrenaline, antihistamine, adrenaline र steroid quickly reduces the symptoms of allergy. Adrenaline and steroids. Okay. Somehow modern day lifestyle has reduced in lowering of immunity and more sensitive. Somehow modern day lifestyle has reduced in resulted in lowering of immunity and some sensitivity. Somehow modern day allergens are more. Somehow modern day lifestyle has resulted in lowering of immunity and more sensitivity to allergens. More and more children in metro cities of India suffer from allergies and asthma due to sensitivity to the environment. This could be because of the protected environment provided early in life. Okay. Antihistamine, adrenaline. Antihistamine र adrenaline हुन्छ. के हुन्छ दुईटा? चला गया क्या ये? तभी मैं सोचूं. Production of antigenic polypeptide of pathogen in bacteria or yeast. Clostridium tetanus, ATS, anti-tetany serum. Memory B cells and T cells that recognize the pathogen quickly on subsequent exposure and overwhelm the invaders with massive production of antibodies. ये वाला हो गया था तो पोर्शन के लिए कॉज गर्छ हिस्टामिन र सेरोटोनिनले कॉज गर्छ एन्टिहिस्टामिन एड्रेनालिन र स्टेरोइड्सले प्रोटेक्ट गर्छ आइजीई टाइप अफ एन्टिबडीले के गर्छ एलर्जेन्सलाई रिड्युस गर्छ फिर भी नहीं पकड़ता ही छोड़ो कोई बात नहीं mast cells, histamines and serotonin from mast cell. Autoimmunity. Memory based acquired immunity. Vaccination को do. This is a passive immunization. Hey. Oh. Vernier caliber. छोड़ो फिजिक्स का है ये vaccination. Just vaccination. Passive immunization. Memory or not. They don't. It's okay. Autoimmunity. Immune system in body. Autoimmunity. Memory-based acquired immunity. Memory-based acquired immunity evolved in higher vertebrates based on the ability to differentiate foreign organisms, example pathogen from cell. While we still do not understand the basis of this, two corollaries of this ability have to be understood. What is corollaries? Memory-based acquired immunity. Memory-based acquired immunity evolved in higher vertebrates based on the ability to differentiate foreign organisms, example pathogen from cells. While we still do not understand the basis of this, two corollaries of this ability have to be understood. One, higher vertebrates can distinguish foreign molecule as well as foreign organism. When higher vertebrates can distinguish foreign molecules as well as foreign organisms, most of the experimental immunology deals with this aspect. 2. Sometimes, due to genetic and other unknown reason, the body attacks cells. This result in damage to the body and is called autoimmune disease. Rheumatoid arthritis, which affects many people in our society, is an autoimmune disease. Autoimmune disorder. Rheumatoid arthritis, myasthenia gravis, vitiligo, and Graves' disease. I think this was in adrenal cortex or something like that. मैं भूल गई लेकिन. Graves' disease. यहीं पर. Addison's disease, this is not Graves' disease, then thyroxine में होगा. Thyroid gland macha, Graves' disease, thyroid में. Exophthalmic goiter is a form of hyperthyroidism characterized by enlargement of thyroid gland, protrusion of eyeball, increased basal metabolic rate and weight loss. Graves' disease, exophthalmic goiter, thyroid gland. Okay, exophthalmic goiter, exophthalmic goiter कहाँ पर था वो? Exophthalmic goiter, exophthalmic goiter. Thyroid gland, exophthalmic goiter. Autoimmunity, memory-based acquired immunity evolved in higher vertebrates. Autoimmunity is memory-based. Again, autoimmunity क्यों? Active immunity जैसे memory-based हो. Acquired immunity, active immunity, vaccination. Autoimmunity सब एक ही हो. Memory-based immunity, memory-based acquired immunity evolved in higher vertebrates. Autoimmunity is the type of acquired immunity. There is a memory-based acquired immunity evolved in higher vertebrates based on the ability to differentiate foreign organisms, example pathogens, okay, from self cells. While we still do not understand the basis of this, two corollaries of this ability have to be understood. On higher vertebrates, one, higher vertebrates can distinguish foreign molecule as well as foreign organisms. Most of the experimental immunology deals with this aspect. Two, sometimes due to genetic and other unknown reason, the body attacks self cells. This results in damage to the body and is called autoimmune disease. Autoimmune disease. Rheumatoid arthritis, Graves' disease, myasthenia gravis, psoriasis, vitiligo. These are Graves' disease, okay. Graves' disease, autoimmune disease, which affects many people in our society, is an autoimmune disease. Autoimmune disease. First one, Chandru. Autoimmune disease. First one, book baracha, rheumatoid arthritis, then Graves' disease, ani myasthenia gravis. Myasthenia gravis. Skeletal muscles. Myasthenia gravis, autoimmune disorder affecting neuromuscular junction leading to fatigue, weakening, and paralysis of skeletal muscles. Myasthenia gravis, autoimmune disorder affecting neuromuscular junction leading to fatigue, weakening, paralysis of skeletal muscles. I hope कि मैं कर पाऊँ. It's okay, you can do it. Rheumatoid arthritis, myasthenia gravis, Graves' disease, psoriasis and vitiligo. Okay, autoimmune disease. आफ्नै सेल्स बात गरिन्छ. Immune system in the body. The human immune system consists of lymphoid organ tissues, cells, and soluble molecules like antibodies. The human immune system consists of lymphoid organs, tissues, and human immune system consists of lymphoid organ tissues, cells, and soluble molecule like antibodies. Human immune system consists of lymphoid organ tissues, cells, and soluble molecule like antibodies. As you have read, immune system is unique in the sense that it recognizes foreign antigens, responds to this, and remember them. The immune system also plays an important role in allergic reaction, autoimmune disorder, and organ transplantation. भाई साहब क्या है? Human immune system consists of lymphoid organs, tissues, cells, and soluble molecules like antibodies. Immune system consists of lymphoid organ, tissues, cells, and soluble molecule like antibodies. As you have read, immune system is unique in the sense that it recognizes foreign antigens, responds to this, and remember them. The immune system also plays an important role in allergic reaction, autoimmune disease, and organ transplantation. Lymphoid tissue, organ, cells, lymphoid organ, tissues, cells, and soluble molecules like antibodies. As you have read, immune system, in the sense it recognizes foreign antigens, responds to this, and remembers them. The immune system also plays an important role in allergic reaction. Organ transplantation. ओके, ये कौन सा स्लॉट था? फर्स्ट स्लॉट था, कंप्लीट हो गया. ओके, डर लगता है वो पता नहीं क्या बॉस. Yup, this is history. This is human health and disease. I can't read all the comments, okay? I'll ignore it. मुझे भी ज़्यादा कलर्स पसंद नहीं है. मैं भी ज़्यादा वाइट टी शर्ट पहनता था घर पे. ऐसी बात नहीं, मुझे तो कलर्स पसंद है, लेकिन ना पता नहीं मेरे पास ना सिर्फ प्लेन टी शर्ट्स बहुत ज़्यादा है. मेरे पास और भी है वाइट कलर का. आई डोंट नो कैसे ये इतना ज़्यादा हो गया, मुझे भी नहीं पता. और जब मैं उधर हॉस्टल में थी ना, तो मेरे फ्रेंड्स लोग भी बोलते थे, तुम क्यों जो जिसमें ड्राइंग होता है ना, वो वाला टी शर्ट नहीं पहनती. तब मेरे पास ब्लैक कलर का भी था विदाउट प्रिंटिंग. पता नहीं कैसे ये हो गया, कलेक्ट हो गया, लेकिन ऐसा कोई इरादा नहीं है. आई लाइक कलर्स. जितना मिल सकता है उतना तो पढ़ने की ही कोशिश करते हैं. एवी की मस्ती. निशांत निधि, शुभम निधि, एलेक्स के 4/10. ये तुम लोग स्लॉट मेंशन कर रहे हो या फिर कितना प्रोडक्टिव था वो मेंशन कर रहे हो? हाँ, क्या वाईफाई क्यों नहीं आ रहा है? मुझे तो इरिटेट लग रहा है, अब इरिटेटिंग लग रहा है. रेटिंग था. हाँ, इतना गंदा पड़ा तुमने. 4 ही आया सिर्फ. सबके लिए नहीं होता होगा, मेरे लिए तो इम्पोर्टेंट ही है. अल्हम्दुलिल्लाह. पाँच मिनट का ब्रेक ले. तुम लोग बोलो ना, वरना मैं अकेले बोलती रह जाऊंगी. नो ब्रेक नहीं, मुझे चाहिए ना। तुम तो पढ़ सकते हो, लेकिन मुझे भी तो एकदम फ्रेश होके, वरना तुम्हारी तरह होगा, तुम ब्रेक नहीं लेके पढ़ते हो ना। देखो तुम्हारा 4 आया रेटिंग। ब्रेक लेके पढ़ने से ना थोड़ा रिफ्रेशमेंट फील होता है, तो अच्छे से पढ़ पाते हैं। वो तुम्हारी लॉन्ग आवर्स सीट करने की वजह से। शुभम, ब्रेक लिया करो। क्या फ़ायदा है ऐसे पढ़ने का जिसमें तुम्हें सिर्फ 4 मिल रहे हैं। आज वाईफाई नहीं आएगा ना, क्या हो रहा है, इसलिए नॉट नो ब्रेक। उसका सेश में है, ब्रेक हो गया। ओ, उसका सेशन में ही ब्रेक हो गया, इसलिए नो ब्रेक। नाइस निधि, नाइस। अच्छा, मैं स्टार्ट करती हूँ। ओके, 35 सेकेंड्स है, वैसे भी ब्रेक कंप्लीट होने ही वाला था। वैसे मुझे ना ब्रेक चाहिए था, क्योंकि मेरे आई में ना कल रात से बहुत ज़्यादा पेन कर रहा था। स्टार्ट करते हैं। ओके, गुड लक निधि। यार, आज वाईफाई क्यों नहीं आ रहा है, मुझे ख़राब लग रहा है। विदाउट वाईफाई पढ़ने का दिल ही नहीं करता। मैं यहाँ पर खुद को देखते देखते पढ़ती हूँ ना। अभी नहीं आ रहा है तो क्या ही कर सकते हैं। तुम जो मेरे हो, तो मैं कुछ नहीं मांगू दुनिया से। इट्स ओके। गुड लक निशांत, गुड लक विशेष, अभी हाई मत बोलो, अभी ब्रेक खत्म हो गया है ना. मैं खुद के लिए हाइड कर लेती हूँ फिर से एक बार. गुड लक एवरीवन. HGA, body fluid. HGM, largest and most abundant. IG is most abundant. Okay, IgG is most abundant. Cross placenta, most abundant. IgE, allergic response. IgM, largest. IgG, smallest and most abundant. IgG, smallest and most abundant. Okay. Allergy, due to the release of histamine and serotonin by the mast cell, controlled by adrenaline, antihistamine, and steroids. Found in fungus, Trichoderma polysporum fungus. Okay. Associate macrophage, T helper cell, and cytokinin is associated with cell-mediated CMI. Okay. Tissue matching, blood type matching, र immune suppressant. ली बस्नुपर्छ. Tissue matching, blood type matching. Organ grafting, graft resection के लिए T lymphocyte responsible है. Okay. Macrophage encalls the foreign body. Plasma cell is associated with humoral immunity. Okay. Immune system, autoimmunity. Immune system in the body. Okay. Immune system. Lymphoid cell, lymphoid tissue, lymphoid organ plus antibody. Antibodies are soluble small molecule. Antibodies are small soluble molecule. Soluble molecules like antibody. Soluble molecules like antibody. Astaghfirullah, I think I'll be fine. The human immune system consists of lymphoid organ. Tissues, cells, and soluble molecule like antibodies. The human immune system consists of lymphoid organs, tissues, cells, and soluble molecules like antibodies. As you have read, immune system is unique. It is the sense that it recognizes foreign antigens, responds to these, and remembers them. The immune system also plays an important role in allergic reaction, autoimmune disease, and organ transplantation. भाई साहब ये क्या हो रहा है? Immune system in the body. The human immune system consists of lymphoid organ, tissue, cells, and soluble molecules like antibody. Lymphoid cells, tissues, organ plus antibody. Antibodies are soluble. Soluble molecules like antibodies. Lymphoid organ, primary and secondary. Okay, primary lymphoid organ to Bone marrow and thymus. Primary lymphoid organ is of two types. Bone marrow, two types. Primary, two organ. Primary, bone marrow and thymus. Bone marrow, B lymphocytes matures. Okay, all WBCs are formed in bone marrow. T lymphocyte, not T lymphocyte. Bone marrow and thymus. Bone marrow and thymus. Thymus, T lymphocytes matures here. Okay, T lymphocyte matures in thymus. Lymphoid organ. There are two lymphoid organ. One is primary lymphoid organ, other one is secondary lymphoid organ. There are two types of primary lymphoid organ: bone marrow and thymus. Bone marrow and thymus. Bone marrow. B lymphocytes matures. All WBC formed in bone marrow. Bone marrow, B lymphocytes. All WBC formed in bone marrow. B lymphocytes matures. All WBC formed in bone marrow. Okay. We don't have to compete with them. I think we can do it. Lymphoid organ primary. Bone marrow, thymus, bone marrow. B lymphocytes, all WBC formed in bone marrow. B lymphocytes matures, all WBC formed in bone marrow. Thymus, T lymphocytes matures here. Immature, antigen sensitive, mature lymphocytes mature. Okay, secondary lymphocyte organs. Bone marrow र thymus हुन्छ. थाइमसमा टी lymphocytes mature हुन्छ. B lymphocytes चाहिँ बोन म्यारोमै मच्योर हुन्छ. सबै lymphocytesहरू प्रड्युस कहाँनिर भएको हुन्छ? बोन म्यारोमै भएको हुन्छ. Okay, all WBCs are formed in bone marrow. Immature, antigen sensitive, mature lymphocyte. Okay, immature, antigen sensitive, mature lymphocyte matures into kanira. Secondary lymphoid organ. Here lymphocytes interact with foreign antigen, migrate to, okay, antigen sensitive, mature lymphocyte, migrate to secondary lymphoid organ. Here lymphocytes interact with foreign antigens. Activated lymphocytes, effector cells. Activated lymphocytes, effector cells. Secondary lymphoid organ. Here, okay, migrate to secondary lymphoid organ. Here lymphocytes interact with foreign antigens. Activated lymphocytes, effector cell. Activated lymphocyte, effector cell. Activated lymphocytes like once effector cell once again. Secondary lymphoid organs. Here lymphocytes interact with foreign antigens. It's okay, you can do it. Primary lymphoid organ, secondary lymphoid organ, primary. Bone marrow. B lymphocytes mature. All WBC formed in bone marrow. Thymus, T lymphocytes matures here. B lymphocytes on WBC found in bone marrow. Thymus. T lymphocytes matures here. Immature antigen sensitive mature lymphocyte. Antigen sensitive mature lymphocytes mature. Okay. Secondary lymphocyte. Lymphoid organ. Second primary lymphoid organ पनि हुन्छ. Secondary lymphoid organ मा के हुन्छ? Here lymphocytes interact with foreign antigens. Activated lymphocytes, effector cells. Okay, effector cells हुन्छ activated lymphocytes. Okay, secondary lymphoid organ. Here lymphocytes interact with foreign antigen. Okay, here lymphocyte interact with foreign antigens. Oh. This is what they said. कर्म करने जाती हूँ कांड ही हो जाता है. हमेशा पानी गिरा देती हूँ, हमेशा. Thymus lobe structure decrease in size with age. Dorsal to sternum location. Dorsal to sternum location. Thymus lobe structure decrease in size with age. Dorsal to sternum. Secondary lymphoid organs. Okay, these are lymph node, tonsils, spleen, Peyer's patches, appendix. That's it. MALT. Okay, MALT. Okay. Lymphoid node, tonsils, spleen, Peyer's patches, appendix. Lymph node, tonsil, spleen, Peyer's patches, and appendix. Lymph node, tonsil, spleen, Peyer's patches, MALT, and appendix. Okay, कितना याद हो गया? Lymphoid node, spleen, Peyer's patches, MALT, appendix, and tonsil. Lymph node, tonsil, spleen. Oh, spleen मैंने नहीं बनाना. Spleen, tonsil, spleen, Peyer's patches, MALT, and appendix. Appendix, Peyer's patches, MALT, spleen, tonsil and lymph node. Tonsil and lymph node. Immune system. Lymphoid cell tissues, organs plus antibody. Lymphoid organ दुईटा टाइपको हुन्छ. प्राइमेरी सेकेन्डरी. प्राइमेरीमा थाइमस र बोन म्यारो हुन्छ. टी लिम्फोसाइट्स मच्योर हुन्छ थाइमसमा. सबै डब्ल्युबिसी कहाँ फर्म हुन्छ? प्राइमेरी लिम्फोसाइट अर्गन फर्स्ट बोन म्यारोमा फर्म हुन्छ. ओके, यो इम्मच्योर लिम्फोसाइट्सहरू मच्योर भएर कहाँनिर जान्छ? सेकेन्डरी लिम्फोइड अर्गनमा जान्छ, जहाँ गएर उनीहरूले के गर्छ? एन्टिजेनसँग इन्टरेक्ट गर्छ अनि एक्टिवेटेड लिम्फोसाइट्स बनिन्छ, जसलाई इफेक्टर सेल्स पनि भन्छ. थाइमस के हो? एउटा लोब्ड स्ट्रक्चर हो. जति बुढो हुँदै जान्छ थाइमस त्यति डिक्रिज हुँदै जान्छ. ओके, लोब्ड स्ट्रक्चर. Decrease in size and with age. Decrease in size with age. Dorsal to sternum. Sternum देखि पछाडि हुन्छ, हार्ट को अगाडिपट्टि हुन्छ. ओके, dorsal to sternum location. Secondary lymphoid organ, lymph node, solid structure. These are small. Lymph node are solid structure. These are small. There is a checkpoint in which B and T lymphocytes are present. Lymph node. Okay. Lymph node has B and T lymphocytes. It acts as checkpoints. Solid structure, small. Tonsil ball, spleen, large bean shaped. Okay, spleens are large and they are bean shaped. They are graveyard of RBC. Spleen is graveyard of RBC, along with it is also reservoir of RBC as well as graveyard of RBC. Lymph node has lymphocytes. Lymph node have lymphocytes. Phagocyte. Okay, lymph node मा के हुन्छ? Lymphocytes हुन्छ, B र T दुईटै. Filtration of blood fluid. Filtration of blood or blood fluid. Trap blood-borne microbes. Traps blood-borne microbes. Tonsils. Okay, spleen. Large bean-shaped. LNT. Okay, Peyer's patches. Types of MALT. Okay, Peyer's patches is a type of MALT. Mucosal associated Mucosa associated lymphoid tissue. Mucosa associated lymphoid tissue. Mucosa associated lymphoid tissue pairs patches. Lymphocyte cells. Small intestine. Small intestine. PP. Pairs patches. Type of MALT pairs patches. Lymphocyte cell. Okay, small intestine also pairs patches. Lymphocyte cells. Types of MALT pairs patches. PP. Mucosa associated lymphoid tissue. Respiratory passes, digestive passes, and urogenital passes. Respiratory passes, digestive passes, and urogenital passes. MALT. Mucosa associated lymphoid tissue. Mucosa associated lymphoid tissue. 50% of the total lymphoid tissue in body. MALT is 50% of the total lymphoid tissue in body. 50% of the total lymphoid tissue in body, that is MALT. Mucosa associated lymphoid tissue, MALT. 50% of the total lymphoid tissue in body. 50% of the total lymphoid tissue in body. Mucosa associated lymphoid tissue. 50% of total lymphoid tissue in body. Appendix, small tube shaped organ attached to large intestine. Small tube shaped organ attached to large intestine. Part of immune system, helps fight disease. Part of immune system, helps fight disease. Appendix, small tube shaped organ attached to large intestine. Part of immune system, helps fight disease. Mucosa associated lymphoid tissue. Respiratory passes, digestive passes, urogenital passes. MALT. Mucosa associated lymphoid tissue. Mucosa secrete mucus. Okay. 50% of the total lymphoid tissue in body. Appendix, small tube shaped organ attached to large intestine. Part of immune system, helps fight a disease. Helper T cell. Helper T cell activate B and T lymphocytes. Helper T cells activate B and T lymphocytes to become plasma cell. Plasma cell active in production antibodies. Active in production antibodies. Plasma cell active in production of antibodies. Active in production of antibodies. Plasma cell. Okay, plasma cell is associated with humoral immunity. Humoral immunity. Humoral immune response. Okay. Mucosa associated lymphoid tissue. MALT. 50% of the total lymphoid tissue in body. Appendix, small tube shaped organ attached to large intestine. Part of immune system, helps fight a disease. Respiratory passes, digestive passes, and urogenital passes. MALT. Mucosa associated lymphoid tissue. Mucosa associated lymphoid tissue. Mucosa associated lymphoid tissue. Sling graveyard of corpus reservoir of corpus large, bean shaped. Lymph node has lymphocytes, websites. Blood body fluid traps, blood-borne microbes. 50% of total lymphoid tissue in body. 50% of total lymphoid tissue in body. Mucosa associated lymphoid tissue. Beer's patches, type of MALT. Lymphocyte cells, small intestine. Plasma cell produce antibodies. Active in production of antibodies. Helper T cells activate B and T lymphocytes to become plasma membrane. Helper T cells activate B and T lymphocytes to become plasma cell. activate B and T lymphocytes to become plasma cell. भाई साहब मैं क्या करूँ इस वाईफाई का? Lymph node has lymphocytes, phagocytes. Filtration of blood, body fluid, trap, blood-borne microbes. The human immune system consists of lymphoid organ, tissue, cells and soluble molecules like antibodies. As you have read, immune system is unique in the sense that it recognizes foreign antigens, responds to this and remembers them. As you have read, immune system is unique in the sense that it recognizes foreign antigens, responds to this and remembers them. Yes, you have read immune system is unique in the sense that it recognizes the human immune system consists of lymphoid organs, tissues, cells and soluble molecules like antibodies. As you have read, immune system is unique in the sense that it recognizes foreign antigens, responds to this and remembers them. The immune system also plays an important role in allergic reaction. The immune system also plays an important role in allergic reaction, autoimmune disease and organ transplantation. The human immune system consists of lymphoid organs, tissues, cells and soluble molecules like lymphoid organ, tissues, cells and so along with antibodies की वो soluble molecule. Okay, हो गया तो इतना ही तो है यहाँ पर. Immune system is unique in the sense that it recognizes foreign antigens, responds to this and remember them. Recognize foreign antigens, responds to them and recognize them with the help of memory. The immune system also plays an important role in allergic reaction, autoimmune disease, and organ transplantation. Autoimmune disease, organ transplantation, and allergic reaction. Autoimmune disease, rheumatoid arthritis, Graves' disease, myasthenia gravis, psoriasis, and vitiligo. Lymphoid organs. These are the organs where origin and or maturation and proliferation of lymphocytes occur. Lymphoid organs. These are the organs where origin and maturation and proliferation of lymphocytes occurs. Lymphoid organs. These are the organs where origin and or maturation. These are the organs where origin and or maturation and proliferation of lymphocytes occur. Lymphoid organ. These are the organs where origin and maturation and proliferation of lymphocytes occur. The immune system also plays an important role in allergic reaction, autoimmune disease, and organ transplantation. Lymphoid organs. And these are the organs where origin and or maturation and proliferation of lymphocytes occur. The immune system also plays an important role in allergic reactions, autoimmune disease, and organ transplantation. Lymphoid organs. These are the organs where origin and maturation and proliferation of lymphocytes occur. Lymphoid organ. These are the organs where origin and maturation and proliferation of lymphocytes occur. The primary lymphoid organ are bone marrow and thymus. Origin, maturation, and proliferation of lymphocytes. Origin, maturation, and proliferation of lymphocytes occur. Origin, maturation, and proliferation of lymphocytes occurs. The primary lymphoid organs are bone marrow, thymus. Okay, the primary lymphoid organs are bone marrow, B lymphocytes, T lymphocytes. Okay, B lymphocytes matures in bone marrow, but T lymphocytes matures in thymus. Okay, and where immature lymphocytes differentiate. The primary lymphoid organ, bone marrow, and thymus, where immature lymphocytes differentiate. Okay, where immature lymphocytes differentiate into antigen-sensitive lymphocyte, where mature lymphocytes differentiate into antigen-sensitive lymphocytes, where mature lymphocytes differentiate into antigen-sensitive lymphocytes. Immune system in the body. The human immune system consists of lymphoid organs, tissues, cells, and soluble molecules like antibodies. The human immune system consists of lymphoid organs, tissues, cells, and soluble molecules like antibodies. Lymphoid organs are the organs where origin and maturation Okay, lymphoid organs. These are the organs where origin. These are the organs where origin and or maturation and proliferation of lymphocytes occurs. The primary lymphoid organs are bone marrow and thymus. Lymphoid organs. Okay, lymphoid organs. These are organs where origin or maturation and proliferation of lymphocytes occur. The primary lymphoid organs are bone marrow and thymus, where immature lymphocyte differentiates. Lymphoid organs. These are the organs where origin and or maturation and proliferation of lymphocytes occur. The primary lymphoid organ are bone marrow and thymus, where immature lymphocytes differentiate. These are organs where origin and or maturation and proliferation of lymphocytes occur. These are organs where origin and or maturation and proliferation of lymphocytes occur. The primary lymphoid organ are bone marrow and the thymus. Bone marrow and thymus, okay. Lymphoid organ. These are the organs where origin and or maturation and proliferation of lymphocytes occur. The primary lymphoid organ are bone marrow and the thymus, where immature lymphocytes differentiate into antigen-sensitive lymphocytes. Immature lymphocytes differentiate into antigen-sensitive lymphocyte. Immature lymphocytes differentiates into antigen-sensitive lymphocyte. Antigen-sensitive lymphocytes are mature lymphocytes. Antigen-sensitive lymphocytes are mature lymphocytes. Okay. After maturation, the lymphocytes migrate to secondary lymphoid. After maturation, the lymphocyte migrate to secondary lymphoid organ like spleen, lymph node, tonsil, Peyer's patches of small intestine, and appendix. Lymph nodes, tonsil, Peyer's patches of small intestine and appendix. Where is tonsil? And spleen. Okay, there is a spleen. Okay. Immature lymphocytes differentiate into antigen-sensitive lymphocyte. Antigen-sensitive lymphocyte. After maturation, the lymphocytes migrate to secondary lymphoid. The lymphocytes migrate to secondary lymphoid organ like spleen, lymph node. Spleen, lymph node अरू के हुनसक्छ? स्प्लिन हुन्छ, लिम्फ नोड हुन्छ र spleen, lymph node. After maturation, the lymphocytes migrate to secondary lymphoid organ like spleen, lymph node, tonsil, Peyer's patches of small intestine and appendix. After maturation, the lymphocytes migrate to secondary lymphoid organs like spleen, lymph nodes, tonsils, Peyer's. After maturation, एकपल्ट mature भइसकेपछि मात्रै यो मेरो secondary lymphoid organ मा जान्छ. Okay, maturation, the lymphocytes migrate to secondary lymphoid organs like spleen, tonsils, Peyer's patches. Spleen, tonsils, lymph node, Peyer's patches, along with MALT and appendix. Okay, I like it, but क्या ही कर सकते हैं? After maturation, the lymphocytes migrate to secondary lymphoid organs. The secondary lymphoid organs provide the site for interaction of lymphocytes with antigens, which then proliferates to become effector cells. The location of various lymphoid organs in human body is shown in 8.5. Okay, Diagrammatic representation of lymph node. Diagrammatic representation of lymph node. Lymph node, thymus, lymphatic vessels. Lymph nodes, thymus, lymphatic vessels. Lymph node, thymus, lymphatic vessels. Trap microorganism. Checkpoint. B and T lymphocytes, primary lymphoid organs, has lymph node. Okay, lymphatic vessels has lymph node. Diagrammatic representation of lymph nodes. Lymphatic vessels has lymph node. Thymus, primary lymphatic organ. Thymus is primary lymphoid organ. Thymus is primary lymphoid organ. And we have lymph nodes and lymphatic vessels. Lymph node and lymphatic vessels. Lymph nodes has B and T lymphocytes and act as checkpoint. Trap microorganism. Lymph nodes trap microorganisms. Checkpoint. B and T lymphocytes are present. Lymphatic vessels has lymph node. Okay. Lymphatic vessels has lymph node, which has both B and T lymphocytes that trap the microorganism. Thymus is a primary lymphoid organ. Lymph nodes, lymphatic vessels. The secondary lymphoid organs provide the site for interaction of lymphocytes with antigens, which then proliferates to become effector cells. The location of various lymphoid organs in the human body is shown in figure 8.5. Provide the sites for interaction of lymphocytes with it. Which then proliferates to become effector cells. The location of various lymphoid organs in human body is shown in figure 8.5. The bone marrow is the main lymphoid organ. Bone marrow is the main lymphoid organ where all blood cells including lymphocytes are produced. Okay, bone marrow is the main lymphoid organ where blood cells including lymphocytes, T lymphocytes and B lymphocytes are produced. The thymus is a lobed organ located near the heart. Thymus is a lobed organ located near the heart and beneath the breastbone. Beneath breastbone, okay? Near heart, beneath breastbone. The thymus is quite large at the time of birth but keeps reducing in size with age, and by the time puberty is attained, it reduces to a very small size. Both bone marrow and thymus provide micro-environment for the development and maturation of T lymphocytes. Both bone marrow and thymus provide micro-environment for the development and maturation of T lymphocyte. Microenvironment. The spleen is large bean-shaped organ. It mainly contains lymphocytes and phagocytes. It acts as a filter of blood by trapping blood-borne microorganisms. Different points along with lymphatic systems. Lymph node serves to trap the microorganisms or other antigens which happens to get into lymph and tissue fluid. The lymph node are small solid structure located at different points along the lymphatic system. The spleen is a large bean-shaped organ. It mainly contains lymphocytes and phagocytes. It acts as a filter of the blood by trapping blood-borne microorganisms. Spleen also has a large reservoir of erythrocytes. The spleen is a large bean-shaped organ. It mainly contains lymphocytes and phagocytes. It acts as a filter of the blood by trapping blood-borne microorganisms. Spleen also has a large reservoir of erythrocytes. It has a large reservoir of erythrocytes. The lymph node are small solid structure. Lymph nodes are small solid structure located in different points along the lymphatic system. Lymph node serves to trap the microorganisms or other antigens which happen to get into lymph and tissue fluid, which happen to get into the lymph and tissue fluid. Antigens trapped in the lymph nodes are responsible for activation of lymphocytes. Antigens trapped in lymph nodes are responsible for activation of lymphocytes present there and cause the immune response. Activation of lymphocyte present there. Activation of lymphocyte present there. The lymph nodes are small solid structure located at different points along the lymphatic system. Lymph node serves to trap the microorganisms or other antigens which traps to get into the lymph and tissue fluid. Antigens trapped in the lymph nodes are responsible for the activation of lymphocytes present there and cause the immune response. There is lymphoid tissue also located within the lining of the major tract. Respiratory, digestive, and urogenital, also called mucosa-associated lymphoid tissue, MALT. It constitutes about 50% of the lymphoid tissue in the human body. The lymph nodes are small solid structure located at the different points along the lymphatic system. Lymph nodes serves to trap the microorganisms or other organisms which happens to get into the lymph and tissue fluid. Antigens trapped in the lymph nodes are responsible for the activation of lymphocytes present there and cause the immune response. मेरा ना चार्ज खत्म होने वाला है आई थिंक. ओ नहीं, I got the notification. आज वो वाईफाई नहीं आया ना. 11% है चार्ज और रहा तुम्हारा ये. नाइस. कितना रहा पता है? 50% डेटा कंज्यूम हो गया है. ये वाला नोटिफिकेशन था. Lymphocytes and phagocytes. It acts as a filter of blood by trapping blood-borne microorganisms. Spleen also. ये तो हो गया था. Antigens trapped in lymph nodes are responsible for the activation of lymphocytes present there and cause the immune response. There is lymphoid tissue also associated with the lining, major respiratory, digestive, and urogenital tract called mucosal associated MALT, mucosal associated lymphoid tissue. Mucosa associated, not mucosal, it's mucosa associated lymphoid tissue. MALT. It constitutes about 50% of the lymphoid tissue in human body. It constitutes about 50% of the lymphoid tissue in human body. Okay, Pierce patches, small intestine. AIDS and cancer, drugs and alcohol abuse, adolescence and drug alcohol abuse. भाई साहब लंबा चैप्टर है. AIDS spread only through body fluids such as blood and reproductive tract discharge. Spread only through body fluids such as blood and reproductive tract discharge. AIDS do not have any cure. acquired through lifestyle, not genetic. AIDS is acquired through lifestyle. It is acquired through lifestyle and it is not genetic. It is not genetic, okay? AIDS is not genetic but acquired through lifestyle, okay? And it spreads through body fluid. It spreads through body fluid. It spreads through and spreads only through body fluid such as blood and reproductive tract discharge. Spreads only through body fluids such as blood and reproductive tract discharge. Spreads only through body fluids such as blood and reproductive tract discharge. Body fluid and reproductive tract discharge. The word AIDS stands for acquired immunodeficiency syndrome. The word AIDS stands for acquired immunodeficiency syndrome. This means deficiency of immune system acquired during the lifestyle of an individual, indicating that it is not a congenital disease. The word AIDS stands for acquired immunodeficiency syndrome. The word AIDS stands for acquired immunodeficiency syndrome. This means deficiency of immune system. Acquired, okay, T helper cells, okay. It is the AIDS is the deficiency of acquired immunodeficiency syndrome. This means deficiency of immune system. Deficiency of immune system. T helper cell decreases. T helper cells decreases in AIDS. Acquired during the lifestyle of an individual indicating, okay, acquired during the lifestyle of an individual indicating that it is not a congenital disease. The word AIDS stands for acquired immunodeficiency syndrome. Acquired immunodeficiency syndrome. This means deficiency of immune system acquired during lifetime of an individual indicating that it is not a congenital disease. The word AIDS stands for acquired immunodeficiency syndrome. This means deficiency of immune system acquired during the lifetime of an individual, indicating that it is not a congenital disease. Congenital or congenital? Congenital disease by birth, okay. Decreases helper cells. Affect immune system. Deficiency of immune system. Not a congenital disease. Congenital by birth. Congenital by birth. This is not congenital disease. Syndrome means a group of symptoms. Syndrome means a group of symptoms. AIDS was first reported in 1981 and in the last 25 years or so it has spread all over the world, killing more than 25 million person. 25 million person, okay. Syndrome means a group of symptoms. Syndrome, group of symptoms, okay. Not congenital disease, by birth disease, okay. AIDS was first reported in 1981. 1981. AIDS was first reported in 1981 and it spreads worldwide and killed 25 million people in the past decade. In last 25 years 25 वर्षभित्रमा कति पार्दैछ 25 मिलियन भन्दा 25 लाख पर्सन्सलाई मार्दैछ. AIDS is caused by human immunodeficiency virus HIV, a member of a group of virus called retrovirus which have an envelope enclosing the RNA genome. HIV virus, okay, do not spread by saliva or mosquito bite and mucus. AIDS is caused by human immunodeficiency virus HIV, a member of group of virus called a retrovirus, which have an envelope enclosing the RNA genome. AIDS is caused by the human immunodeficiency virus HIV, a member of group. HIV virus do not spread by saliva or mosquito bite and mucus. Spread only through body fluids such as blood and reproductive tract discharge. T helper decreases. No cure. Acquired through lifestyle and genetics. HIV virus do not spread by saliva or mosquito bite and mucus. HIV virus do not spread by saliva or mosquito bite or mucus. They can spread only through blood and reproductive tract discharge. AIDS is caused by human immunodeficiency virus HIV. AIDS is caused by human immunodeficiency virus HIV. A member of group of virus called retrovirus, not rhino, they are retrovirus, okay, retrovirus. A member of group of virus called retrovirus, rhinovirus cold and cough ka lagi ho, retrovirus. AIDS is caused by the human immunodeficiency virus, a member of a group of virus called retrovirus, which have an envelope enclosing the RNA genome, which have an envelope encoding the RNA genome. RNA genome la envelope encode gareko हुन्छ okay. Single stranded RNA, ssRNA, single stranded RNA, okay. Transmission of HIV infection generally occurs by sexual contact with infected person, by transfusion of contaminated blood and blood products. Transfusion of contaminated blood and blood products, sexual contact with infected person, by sharing infected needles as in case of intravenous drug abuser, by sharing infected needles as in case of intravenous drug abusers, and D, from infected mother to her child through placenta. Infected mother to her child through placenta. From infected mother to her child through placenta. From infected mother to her child through placenta. So people who are at high risk of getting this infection includes individuals who have multiple sexual partners, drug addicts who take drugs intravenously, individual who requires repeated blood transfusions, and children born to an HIV infected mother. Transmission of HIV injections generally occurs by sexual contact with infected person, by transfusion of contaminated blood and blood products. Infected mother to her child through placenta. Individuals who have multiple sexual partners, drug addicts who take drugs intravenously, individuals who acquire repeated blood transfusions, and children born to an HIV infected mother. Do you know when do people need repeated blood transfusion? Sickle cell anemia, hemophilia भयो भने, thalassemia, leukemia, anemia. I think मुझे भी तो है anemia तो. Find out and make a list of such conditions. It is important to note that HIV/AIDS is not spread by mere touch or physical contact. It spreads only through body fluids. It is hence imperative, given order. It is hence imperative for the physical and psychological well-being. It spreads only through body fluid. It is hence imperative for the physiological well-being, imperative for physical and physiological well-being that HIV/AIDS infected persons are not isolated from family and society. There is always a time lag between the infection and appearance of AIDS symptoms. This is called incubation period. Okay, this period may vary from a few months to many years, usually 5 to 10 years. Few months to many years, usually 5 to 10 years. Excuse me. Retrovirus can transform. Is this cell replication of retrovirus? Retrovirus can form DNA from RNA through reverse transcriptase. Retrovirus form DNA from RNA. Form DNA from RNA through reverse transcriptase. Reverse transcriptase what is के गर्छ RNA बाट DNA form गरिदिन्छ. Can form DNA from RNA. Okay, retrovirus. Viral RNA core envelope. Okay. RNA genome is enveloped. Okay. Single-stranded RNA. Single-stranded RNA. Single-stranded. Okay, retrovirus. Viral RNA core. Viral protein code भित्र viral RNA core, single stranded RNA. Reverse transcriptase enzymes is there because it undergoes reverse transcription. Protein code remains outside. Animal cells, one is animal cell. Okay, virus infect normal cells. Protein code remains outside. Protein codes remains outside animal cell, plasma membrane. Okay, reverse transcriptase. Viral RNA is introduced into cell. Viral RNA is introduced into the cell. Viral DNA is produced by reverse transcriptase. Viral DNA is produced by reverse transcriptase. Okay. Viral DNA is produced by reverse transcriptase. RNA is introduced into the cell. Viral DNA is produced by reverse transcriptase. Viral DNA incorporates into host genome. Cytoplasm viral DNA incorporates into host genome. New viral RNA is produced by the infected cells. DNA nucleus. New viral RNA is produced by the cell infected. Viral RNA. New viruses are produced. Released from the cell, new viruses can infect all the cells. Infected cell can survive while viruses are being replicated and released. Can survive while viruses are being replicated and released. Okay, के हुन्छ भन्दाखेरि रेट्रोभाइरसले कज गर्छ यसकोमा बाहिरपट्टि प्रोटिन कोड हुन्छ ओके भित्रपट्टि आरएनए जेनोम हुन्छ प्रोटिन कोडले कभर गरेको हुन्छ आरएनए जेनोम सिंगल स्ट्रान्डेड हुन्छ के रेट्रोभाइरसहरु फर्स्टमा के हुन्छ आरएनए हुन्छ यिनीहरुकोमा तर के गर्छ जब एनिमल सेलसँग गएर नि आरएनए सेलसँग गएर अट्याच हुन्छ, प्रोटिन कोड भएरै बस्छ, आरएनए जेनोम मात्रै भित्र जान्छ। यो सिंगल स्ट्रान्डेड आरएनए हो, तर यसमा टेन्डेन्सी हुन्छ रिभर्स ट्रान्सक्रिप्सन गराउनेको। रिभर्स ट्रान्सक्रिप्टेज एन्जाइम हुन्छ, डिएनए बनाइदिन्छ आरएनए गएर सेलको भित्र साइटोप्लाज्ममा के। डिएनए एकपल्ट बनिसकेपछि चाहिँ रिभर्स ट्रान्सक्रिप्टेजको थ्रु होस्टको न्युक्लियसभित्र बसेर डिएनएसँग इन्कर्पोरेट गर्छ, इन्कर्पोरेट्स इन्टु होस्ट जेनोम। देन त्यसको बादमा के गर्छ फेरि, यो होस्टको डिएनए भइसक्यो अब एकपल्ट भएपछि यसले आरएनए प्रड्युस गर्न थाल्छ। भाइरल, त्यो पनि भाइरल हुन्छ, त्यो प्रड्युस गरेको आरएनए पनि हुन्छ viral. New viral RNA is produced by the infected cells. New virus are produced. Okay, यो नयाँ भाइरस जुन चाहिँ प्रड्युस गरेको छ सेलबाट बाहिर निस्किन्छ अनि फर्दर अरू सेललाई इन्फेक्ट गर्छ। Infected cells can survive while virus is having. Okay, infected cell जुन चाहिँ छ त्यो सर्भाइभ गर्न सक्छ जबसम्म भाइरसको रेप्लिकेसन हुँदैछ या रिलिज हुँदैछ। Replicated and released. Replication of retrovirus multiplies in living tissue. Characteristic features of a virus unaffected by antimicrobial growth. Characteristic features of a virus unaffected by they may undergo mutations. Viruses are no more alive than isolated chromosomes, I guess. I will take a break, okay? Okay, my exam. Are you okay? You English? Why? I know English. I know English. I only Hindi. किसी ने मुझे ऐसा लिखा है कि you English? Why no? I know English. ऐसा लिखा है. I think his name is Vivek Kumar. It's okay, Vivek. बॉर्नविटा पी रही हो? नहीं, पानी पी रही हूँ. Vendor with whiskey. Vendoring with whiskey. Vendor with whiskey. I know English. You know English. अच्छा लगा मुझे वो देख के. किसका था? कौन था वो? I don't know, जो भी था वो सही था. ओके, विवेक कुमार था. जिंदगी में इतना दुख दर्द आ गया ना, सिर्फ फनी लोग ही पसंद है. एक मिनट, हाँ मैं चार्ज भी कर लेती हूँ. 10 मिनट का ब्रेक ले. इट्स ओके, हिंदी में बोलो. नहीं, मैं हिंदी में ही बोल देती हूँ ना, लेकिन कोई कोई साउथ इंडियंस है, इसलिए उन लोगों को समझ में नहीं आता ना. तो मैं चाहती हूँ कि सब लोगों को समझ में आए. जैसे भावा, अगर वो एक भी कोई है तो इंसान है, तो मैं उसके लिए भी उतना ही एफर्ट डालने की कोशिश करूँगी ना. और भावा ही नहीं, बहुत सारे हैं अभी तो साउथ इंडिया से. 8 कैसे? 9 डेज होगा ना. 8 कैसे? नहीं, मैं अप्रॉक्स लेके चल रही हूँ. एग्जैक्ट लेके नहीं चल रही हूँ निधि मैं. अरे विवेक जी को ओ बोला. विवेक जी चले गए हैं. विवेक जी बोला. निधि ने इतना रेस्पेक्ट दिया भाई साहब. लंच अभी तो किया नहीं है, लेकिन करना पड़ेगा शायद, भूख लग रहा है थोड़ा थोड़ा। लेकिन कुछ अच्छा भी तो नहीं है खाने के लिए। आई थिंक वो है, तुम लोग उसको क्या बोलते हो नहीं पता, लेकिन येलो कलर की दाल को क्या बोलते हैं? वैसे बहुत सारे होते हैं ना येलो कलर की दाल। आई थिंक मसूर समथिंग कुछ बोलते हो तुम लोग, मुझे एग्जैक्टली नहीं पता। हम लोग इमा तो 6-7 बार लंच हो जाता है। अभी नहीं खाई मैं सब्जी। मुझे पता है मैं बहुत खाती हूँ, लेकिन अभी नहीं खाई। अच्छा ये बात है। Provin, listen, I am feeling depressed. What to do? I have lost 73k in IPL. One of my friend told to play. Ayo. How can someone do this to their money? I feel so bad for Provin Kumar. Bro, you shouldn't have played. लेकिन अब क्या ही कर सकते हैं। Hi Ayan, hi. Don't believe everything you read, Imma. Okay. It's okay, Praveen. You can earn now. From now onwards, don't play this game. Anya, where are you, girl? I was praying. Sorry, I was late. Okay. Start करूं? Good luck, everyone. ये सन ज़्यादा लंबा नहीं कर पाएंगे 4 पे एल को ना, इसलिए नीट Am I visible and audible? Am I? If you are there, Anya, complete नहीं हुआ है ह्यूमन फिजियो. गया तो अच्छी बात है ना. अब हम लोग ही बस कभी गार्लिक राइस खाया है? सब लोग चले गए. नहीं खाया है? ट्राई करो ना गार्लिक राइस, कितना टेस्टी होता है. निशांत ने तो ना वो खाया होगा, ढोकला खाया होगा. ढोकला आई एम आइंग और हम लोगों का नेट गोइंग. एलेक्स, मेरी मेंबरशिप क्यों नहीं ले रहे हो तुम? बोलो एलेक्स, तुमने मेंबरशिप क्यों नहीं लिया मेरा? कितना 29 वाला करो. आया ही नहीं ऑप्शन. मेंबरशिप की प्रमोशन रुकनी नहीं चाहिए. हाँ, अभी आ गया है. झूठे झूठे एलेक्स झूठ बोल रहा है. Thank you. Thank you, Anbu. Is it Anbu? कितना आया इस बार? दिया ही नहीं है एग्जाम. Soon you are going to be the best doctor. मैंने पढ़ लिया. Thank you. Thank you. उसको अच्छा नहीं लग रहा. एलेक्स ने नहीं दिया. नहीं, मुझे अच्छा नहीं लग रहा है. शुभम में भी नहीं लिया. लेकिन तू तो कंजूस है, मुझे पता है ना. तो मैंने एलेक्स को ही बोल दिया. हाय मलार. चलो पढ़ते हैं. ओके, एक मिनट. हाँ, मैं पानी पी लेती हूँ, फिर पढ़ते हैं. 4 तक पढ़ेंगे, उसके बाद मैं क्लासेस जाऊंगी. बस आप कब लेंगे? बस शुभम बोल रहा है कि जब उसका ना इंटर्नशिप चलेगा, आर्टिकलशिप में चला जाएगा, तब लेगा. तुम जब लोगे तब. हाँ एलेक्स, ले लो. एलेक्स तो ईमा आपके पार्टी में था ना. हाँ एलेक्स अभी भी मेरे पार्टी में ही है. You are dropper sis? Yup, I am. लगता है शुभम और एलेक्स के लिए ना मुझे खुद ही खरीदना पड़ेगा, खुद के पैसों से, दोनों के लिए, है ना. पहले पार्टी दो टीम को यार. अभी तो मेरे पास भी नहीं आया ना. हाउ वी कांट लाइक विड्रॉ मनी इतनी जल्दी. पता नहीं, एक सर्टेन लिमिट होना चाहिए, और मेरे तो ना उसका 1% भी नहीं है. अगर 100% इतना होना चाहिए उसे निकालने के लिए, तो मेरा 1% इतना भी नहीं है. एक्सक्यूज मी, शायद 1% हो. एक्सक्यूज मी. ओके मल्हार. मल्हार से याद आया, तुम लोगों ने एक वो मूवी देखा है जिसमें ना, उनका नाम मुझे नहीं पता, लेकिन आगे ना ना है, ना ना समथिंग, ना ना पी. वो उनका नाम भी मल्हार होता है. वो मर जाते हैं लेकिन मूवी के एंड में. इसके बाद मैं लूँगी. कॉलेज नहीं मिला तो अलग बात है ना. वैसे मेंबरशिप में कुछ ऐसा नहीं है, कुछ खास नहीं है ना. लोगी तो भी चलेगा. मैंने फिर अच्छा. ओके, हम बाहर के लोग, मतलब. हाँ सही बोला. मेरा एलेक्स कितना सही सही बात करता है ना. चलो मैं तुम लोगों के साथ बात नहीं करती. मेरा फिर ना वो दिमाग पता नहीं क्या हो जाएगा. अभी मैं पढ़ने जा रही हूँ. एक मिनट, खुद के लिए हाइड कर लेती हूँ. नया नया लग रहा है निधि. चार्ट वाला. हाँ, मैंने तो इवोल्यूशन चैप्टर ही नहीं किया है अभी. ठीक है. कि मैं खुद के लिए चैट साइड करूँ. सब याद करियो. इम्पोर्टेंट है. क्या याद करना है? ये वाला, ये पोर्शन. मैं लेकिन मुझे दोनों ओके. मैंने तो पढ़ा ही नहीं. मैं तो ह्यूमन हेल्थ कर रही हूँ. ओके, मैं जा रही हूँ अभी. ओके. कहाँ गया? मैसेज कहाँ से हाइड करते हैं? यहीं से करते हैं ना. मैंने खुद के लिए चैट्स हाइड कर लिया. अब मैं नहीं देख पाऊंगी. Good luck and after getting into the body of the person, the virus enters into macrophages. Genome. Okay. After getting into the body of the person, the virus enters into macrophages, cells which produce HIV virus, HIV factory. Macrophages. Okay, macrophages, cells which produce HIV virus. कितना प्यारा वॉइस है किसी का। 2828 2929 कर रहा है बाहर। ओ मैंने तुम लोगों को बताया उस दिन ना, क्लास 11th का क्लास था ना, तो मैंने ना जो नोट्स कॉपी वहाँ पे मैं क्लासेस में लेके गई थी, तो मैंने वहीं पर छोड़ा। मुझे अच्छे से याद है, मैंने टेबल पे रख के ना मैं वापस आ गई थी, क्योंकि मैं भूल गई थी। मुझे घर पे रास्ते में आते वक्त भी मैं कुछ भूली तो नहीं, ऐसा फील हो रहा था ना। और चाबी क्लास के मेरे पास ही था, लेकिन मंडे जब गई वो सैटरडे का बात था, तो मंडे जब गई ना तो वहाँ पर कॉपी ही नहीं था, मेरा कॉपी ही गायब हो गया था। पता नहीं कौन ले गया वो, शायद वो उसी स्टूडेंट के बैग में भी चला जा सकता है, लेकिन वो क्यों ही लेगी, वो मेरा कॉपी था ना। उसमें मैंने थोड़ा सा किया था, हेलो एल्केन्स एंड हेलो एरिन्स, अब चला गया। RNA genome of the virus replicates to form viral DNA with the help of the enzyme reverse transcriptase. These viral DNA gets incorporated into host cell's DNA and directs the infected cell to produce virus particles. The macrophages continue to produce viruses and in this way act as a HIV factory. Simultaneously, HIV enters into helper T lymphocytes TH, replicates and produces virus. The virus released in the blood attacks other helper T cell. Simultaneously, HIV enters into helper T lymphocyte TH, replicates and produces viruses. The virus is released in the blood attacks other helper T lymphocytes. This is repeated leading major. बायोलॉजी एट ईज अभी भी बनाती है क्या ट्रिक्स? आई थॉट उन्होंने चैनल को ना ऐसे ही करके छोड़ दिया. वो तो 2019 में बहुत ही ज़्यादा फेमस थी. फिर बाद में उन्होंने पता नहीं क्या किया. मेरा ना वो हो रहा है, वाईफाई नहीं आया ना और डेटा भी खत्म होने वाला है, तो मैं क्या करूँ? इस लाइव सेशन को ऐसे ही छोड़ के तो नहीं जा सकती, क्लास के लिए ऑफ करके जाऊँ. आई नो शुभम यू आर देयर, रिप्लाई. What is this? There's something in my head. I can't believe क्या था वो. ओके, मेरे ना सर पे से कर रहा ना मैंने, तो मैं बाहर गई थी तो कुछ सूखा हुआ पत्ता मेरे सर पे आके गिर गया है ना, लेकिन नहीं, कॉकरोच का टांग गिर गया है. सी, ये एक कॉकरोच का टांग है. कॉकरोच के टांग मेरे सर पे कैसे आ गया? मैं दिखा भी रही हूँ पकड़ पकड़ के हाथ से. कोई बात नहीं, आई विल वॉश माय हैंड्स. देखो निशांत, कॉकरोच की टांग खाओगे? ऐसे करके एक किक मारा होगा ना उसने. मुझे लग रहा है कि इसको ना उसने पकड़ के खा लिया. क्या बोलते हैं उसके नाम? छिपकली ने खा लिया. I'll go wash my hands, okay? और कॉकरोच के टांग भी बाहर ही फेंक देती. हाय विशु, मैं हाथ धो के आई, ओके? ऋतुराज आनंद, किचन में तो कितने कॉकरोचेस घूम होंगे, मेरे सामने नाटक करता है। निशांत ने ना मन ही मन में गाली दिया होगा, लेकिन निशांत इंट्रोवर्ट है ना, इसलिए वो कुछ नहीं बोला तुम्हें। You are from which state? I am from Sikkim. My dream medical college is एम्स दिल्ली। भाई साहब क्या क्या पूछ रहे हो, मुझे नहीं पता। ड्रीम मेडिकल कॉलेज जैसा कुछ नहीं होता है, बस मेडिकल कॉलेज मिल जाए, है ना। SATPH सप्त ऐसे, आई डोंट नो, तप। व्हाट्स योर नेम भाई? वैसे मेरे स्टेट में एक ही है, वो प्राइवेट है, लेकिन यहाँ के गवर्नमेंट कोटा दे देते हैं। SMIMS। अरे वो कॉकरोच तो बहुत देखा है, तुम्हारे खाने का बात क्यों बोला? अच्छा, मैं निशांत को चिढ़ा रही थी, निशांत बात ही नहीं करता ना, तो उसे चिढ़ा रही थी मैं, ताकि वो भी कुछ बोले, लेकिन वो बोला ही नहीं, बस ज़्यादा हंसा। जो भोले भाले लोग होते हैं ना, उसको सब लोग छेड़ते रहते हैं, वही हुआ। डजंट मैटर when you do your GPC is important, doesn't matter you do UCP is important for doctors। सब लोग बोलते हैं, ऐसी 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 बेकावे वाली बात में मत आना कोई भी। मुझे भी सब लोगों ने बोला कि तेरी इस क्लास की मार्क्स मैटर नहीं करती, उस क्लास की मार्क्स मैटर नहीं करती, ये कॉलेज मैटर नहीं करता। हर लोग बोलते रहते हैं, जो लोग नहीं निकाल पाते ना, मेजोरिटी लोग नहीं निकाल पाते हैं, इसलिए ऐसा बोलते हैं। मैटर करता है यार, सब कुछ मैटर करता है, कैसे कॉलेज से हो, कितना मार्क्स आ रहा है, सब कुछ मैटर करता है। बाकी सब झूठ बोलते हैं। और क्लास 10 तो छोड़ो, सब लोग बोलते ही है। क्लास 9 में जो बोलते हैं ना, क्लास 9 तक क्या ही है, क्लास 10 से करो। क्लास 9 भी मैटर करता है, क्लास 9 अच्छा है तभी तो तुम्हारा क्लास 10 सही जाएगा ना, सब कुछ मैटर करता है। लोग झूठ बोलते हैं, इस बात पे तो ना मैं लिख के दे देती हूँ, लोग झूठ झूठ बोलते हैं, बस दिलासा दे देते हैं। कोई बात नहीं, छोड़ो, हम लोग पढ़ाई करते हैं। इतना सच नहीं बोलना था, एग्जैक्टली मैं बोल ही देती हूँ, क्योंकि मेरे साथ तो ये गद्दारी हुआ है ना, सब लोग ने मुझे झूठ बोल के ऐसा किया है, तो मैं नहीं चाहती कि दूसरों के साथ भी झूठ बोल दिया। क्या ही कर सकते हैं, पढ़ाई करो। निशांत, आर यू देयर? देखो ऋतुराज भी समझ गया। निशांत, आर यू देयर? सही चला गया शायद। लेट्स स्टार्ट, ओके। मैं मजाक कर रही थी, गुस्सा मत करना, ओके। मैं कॉकरोच की टांग खाओगे ऐसा करके पूछा ना, मैं मजाक कर रही थी, ओके। तुम्हें बुरा लगा तो। After getting into the body of the person, the virus enters into macrophages where RNA genome of the virus replicates to form a viral DNA with the help of the enzyme reverse transcriptase. This viral DNA gets incorporated into host cells' DNA and directs the infected cell to produce virus particles. The macrophages continue to produce virus, and this way acts like a HIV factory. Simultaneously, HIV enters into helper T lymphocytes. TH replicates and produces progenivirus. The progenivirus is released into blood attacks other helper T lymphocytes. This is repeated. Progressive decrease in the number of helper T cells lymphocyte in the body of the infected person. During this period, the person suffers from bouts of fever, diarrhea, and weight loss. Due to increase in the number of helper T lymphocytes, the person starts suffering from infections that could have been otherwise overcome, such as those due to bacteria, especially mycobacterium, viruses, fungi, and even parasites like toxoplasma. The patient becomes so immunodeficient that he is unable to protect himself or herself against any against this disease, okay, herself against this infectious disease, protect himself herself against this infectious disease, unable to protect himself herself against this infectious disease. A widely used diagnostic test for AIDS, widely used diagnostic test, okay, is ELISA, enzyme linked immunosorbent ELISA, a widely used diagnostic test for AIDS. Diagnostic test for AIDS, widely used diagnostic test for AIDS is enzyme-linked immunosorbent. Enzyme-linked immunosorbent assay ELISA. Enzyme-linked immunosorbent assay. Enzyme-linked immunosorbent assay. Widely used diagnostic test. Okay, diagnostic test for AIDS. Diagnostic test for AIDS is enzyme-linked immunosorbent assay. Diagnostic test, right? Okay. Treatment of AIDS with antiretroviral drugs is only partially effective. Treatment of AIDS with antiretroviral drugs. Treatment of AIDS with antiretroviral drugs is only partially effective. They can only they can only prolong the life of the patient but cannot prevent death, which is inevitable. They can only prolong the life of the patient but cannot prevent death, which is inevitable. Prevention of AIDS. As AIDS has no cure, prevention is the best option. Moreover, HIV infections. Okay. Prevention of AIDS. As AIDS has no cure. Prevention is the best option. Moreover, HIV infection more often spreads due to conscious behavior patterns and is not something that happens inadvertently. AIDS has no cure. Prevention is best option. Moreover, HIV infection more often spread due to conscious behavior pattern and is not something that happens inadvertently, like pneumonia or typhoid. Of course, infection in blood transfusion patient, newborns from mother, etc. may take place due to poor monitoring. The only excuse may be ignorance, and it has been rightly said, don't die of ignorance. In our country, the National AIDS Control Organization, NACO, and other non-governmental NGOs are doing a lot to educate people about AIDS, who has started a number of programs to prevent the spreading of HIV infection, making blood from blood bank safe from HIV, ensuring the use of any disposable needles and syringes in public and private hospital and clinic, making blood from blood banks safe from HIV, ensuring the use of only disposable needles and syringes in public and private hospitals and clinics. Free distribution of controlling drug abuse, advocating safe sex, and promoting regular checkups for HIV is susceptible, pop, susceptible populations are some such steps taken up. Infection with HIV or having AIDS is something that not be hidden. Since then, the infection may spread to many people. HIV/AIDS infected people need help and sympathy instead of being shunned by society. Unless society recognizes it as a problem to be dealt with in a manner, extreme chances of wider spread of the disease increase manifold. It is It is malady that can only be tackled by the society and mediated. Medical fraternity acting together to prevent the spread of the disease. Since then, the infection may spread to many more people. HIV/AIDS infection. Infected people need help and sympathy. It as a problem to be dealt. चलो अब मैं चली जाती हूँ, ओके, क्लासेस भी तो है। अरे दीदी विच एग्जाम आया यू गना क्रैक, सारे ही क्रैक कर दूंगी भाई, क्या प्रॉब्लम है इसमें। तुम बोलो तो सही कौन सा एग्जाम क्रैक करना है। वो शुभम यार, निशांत आई है यार, मैं चली जाऊंगी अब। तुम दूसरों की क्लास लेती हो क्या? हाँ दूसरों की क्लास तो लेने जाती हूँ, खुद की क्लास भी दे के आती हूँ। क्या बोल रहे हो तुम, तुम्हें नहीं पता था क्या? लगा अपने लिए क्लास करने जाती हूँ, नहीं मैं दूसरों को पढ़ाने जाती हूँ। Am I visible and audible शुभम? खुद की क्लास लगवाने जाती है। हाँ सही बोला, पहले 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 मिक्की से मुंह बना के आती थी क्लास के बाद, पता है ना, फिर कितना रोती भी थी। अभी थोड़ा कंफर्टेबल हूँ, या तो जलील हो के ना आदत हो गई है अब तो। मुझे पढ़ाने के नहीं जलील होने के पैसे मिलते हैं, लेकिन कोई बात नहीं। आई थिंक अब मुझे जाना चाहिए। बेशरम बोलते हैं उसे, उसे हार्ड वर्किंग बोलते हैं, समझे। मैं अपनी बेस्ट देती हूँ, खुद पढ़ के उन लोगों की बुक वापस से, तो मुझे मेरा खुद का पढ़ना है। और वो मैं जो इतना ज़्यादा नहीं मिलता, लेकिन वो अमाउंट में खुद के लिए खर्च भी नहीं करती, तो समझे, उसे हार्ड वर्किंग बोलते हैं। जैसे तुम जैसे जलन खोर, तो उसे बेशरम ही बोलते हो। मजाक था यार, मैं सीरियस हो गई यार। हार्ड वर्क बीट्स टैलेंट, सही है फिर, ऐसी बात है तो एकदम सही है। अब मैं चली जाती हूँ, ओके, सास के समूह से वाला। एसबी ने साइड बिजनेस करके नीट, सबने साइड बिजनेस करके नीट निकाला। हाउ हार्ड वर्किंग स्टूडेंट। टाइटल में ये होगा न्यूज़पेपर में। चलो तो मैं चली। निधि आपका मोमोज का हो गया शायद, ये पर्सनल हो रहा है सास के। मुझे नहीं पता किसका था मैं ना लेकिन लाइव को ऐसे छोड़ के नहीं जा सकती, क्योंकि आज वो डेटा खत्म हो जाएगा ऐसे छोड़ के चली गई तो। और आज वाईफाई नहीं है तो डेटा की बहुत ज़रूरत पड़ेगी। बस ये कहना चाह रही थी मैं। मैं जल्दी ही आ जाऊंगी, लाइक 5 में ही आ जाऊंगी आज तो, लेकिन लाइफ को ऐसे ही छोड़ के नहीं जा सकती क्योंकि डेटा ही नहीं रहेगा फिर। अभी भी 50% से ज़्यादा कंज्यूम हो गया है। सब तक रहेगा समोसा में आलू, जब तक रहेगा समोसा में आलू। ओके देन आई एम गोइंग, ओके बाय बाय निधि। कोई मुझे बाय ही नहीं बोल रहा है, ठीक है मैं चली जाती हूँ, ओके बाय निधि। See you soon.